Um, Jack, I thought it was interesting you mentioned Notre Dame, Bama earlier because I got those similar vibes, but not just that, but the whole situation was very similar because you remember that year, Georgia, Bama was a super close SEC championship, right down to the wire. Georgia was driving to try to take the lead, and time ran out. So Bama survives, but then they get to the championship and just absolutely blow out Notre Dame. It's kind of the similar situation. Georgia survives Ohio State, and then they get to the championship game and blow them out. So I thought Herb Street and Fowler did a good job of talking and didn't pull any Brent Musburger comments.
We're any Captain Webb's in the stands this time. So.
No. Oh man. But yeah, it was
Jesse. Jesse's face right now is
It's
hilarious.
just so it's gross. It's
oh
gross.
man.
It is exceptionally cringy.
She also didn't go to Bama, and she's not from Alabama. She's from Georgia. She's from Columbus. She went to Auburn.
That's practically Alabama.
It's fine. She went to Auburn. Whatever. I'm over it.
She's still beautiful.
Yep, as was observed that evening. So yeah, as a Georgia fan, it's weird not to be on the edge of my seat. It seems like it's just something I'm kind of used to. As a matter of fact, Jack, we've brought this up. You kind of expect the worst a lot of times, but that wasn't the case in this one. Obviously, Stetson's the top story, but what an insane game by Javon Bullard. 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery before he left with an injury. I mean, that's just insane. And we were kind of watching. We were watching at the restaurant, and so I could hear, but I didn't hear everything that was said, and so I didn't even realize later that until later that all of those plays were by him. I was like, all I saw was on the screen. I was like, fumble recovery, yes, and then I come to realize later on that all these were done by him. Just an amazing game. Loved seeing Lad McConkey, who wasn't highly recruited and has been battling some tendonitis this year, show out with 5 catches for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. So that was pretty
I just
awesome.
want them to be careful with him. Can I just say that?
Be
Because
careful with
during
him.
the game, we know he has, some lingering injuries. Holly Rowe even talked about it. He got shot up with a pain shot before him. We know it's going to wear off. You are kicking ass out there. Absolutely not. Pull him. Again, I just have a big issue, not just with Georgia, not across college football, that these are children, essentially, and coaching staff and athletic trainers need to make sure that they are advocating for these players. Players are going to want to play in this big stage, and they absolutely deserve to. But just make sure that you are setting them up to not have the knees of an 85-year-old when they're 25, because their health matters. They are humans. And when you're out there dominating, you probably don't need him in there.
Well, that's kind of one thing that I loved about this game, especially as it moved along, is that they did swap out a lot of people, but the execution stayed the same. It was kind of like, how a lot of times you do get in the lead and you kind of get conservative and stuff like that. But Kirby's mantra going into the game was leave no doubt. And obviously you're playing in the championship game. The other team is in the championship game. They're there for a reason. It's not like you're playing, like to your point, like a Ball State or something like that, where you're going to take it easy later on. But yeah, the subs did get in. Second, third string guys got in. To that point, I loved watching Branson Robinson. I mean, he was running like a beast out there. He's a freshman, finishing with 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. So that was pretty awesome. Looking forward to his future at UGA. And like I said, the backups kind of showed out. That the defense kept charging, sacks, getting in the backfield, stuff like that. And Kirby was already thinking about next year. And I think that's an interesting situation where you find yourself where you're in command of a game, but you have all these guys waiting in the wings. You get these guys in a big game like this, the backups, they're in. Yes, the game is out of hand, but you're still in the championship game. It is a meaningful game. And I think that will go far for their confidence and development. So it's always a constant game, right? Yes, you're probably going to win, but you already are thinking about next year. How do we get these guys involved? How do we get their confidence up and where they think that they can be the ones to take over that mantle next year? And so I liked that from that standpoint. But that's all I've got.